Hi, everybody. It's Jacqueline from Best Whole New World, and I'm here to answer your questions on what exactly I do. And this is perfect because I get to practice this. So, one of the first questions was, do I call myself an energy healer? And the answer is no. I like to stay away from labels as much as I can. I believe that, and it's my experience, that the universe, whatever you want to call this unified field, divine intelligence, cosmic consciousness, God, that is the essence and the presence of all that actually is. And when I am aligned to that, and when anyone else is aligned completely in that vibration, it's like a perfect pitch. Everybody can sing, okay? Not everyone can carry a tune. Not everyone has a great voice, and very few people have perfect pitch. And it's in that sense of being in perfect alignment with the cosmic consciousness of all that actually is that everything is brought into perfect order. And somehow my intention or my belief or whatever in that presence of me connecting to that is with another, that ignites what's true for them because it's in each of us. You know, we were all given this life. We didn't do anything to achieve it. So that activates that. So I feel that it force, the unified field, the divine, is the healer. And everything else, you know, that we like to say that I'm a part of, I'm just like this tiny little microcosm. I'm like a cell in the whole scope of the universe. And I am just allowing that presence of all that is to be in me that just transmits and radiates out through others to ignite their spark. So question number one is, if I have to give myself a label, I call myself a transformational catalyst, because I believe the journey goes from like someone being a caterpillar to a butterfly. The caterpillar is what I use in a lot of analogies as people living in the world and being very much still in the victim stage, that the world is happening to them. And then they get into the chrysalis stage where they start to go, oh, yes, there's the law of attraction, and I'm really a spiritual being having a human experience. And I go from, oh, yes, this can be, but oh, no, I'm dealing with this pattern. Or, oh, yes, I can be, but oh, no, I'm still dealing with this. And that is what I call the chrysalis stage, is, you know, there's more, but you still feel like you're being pulled back in the direction of the caterpillar. And then the butterfly is like when you awaken completely from the dream. You know, you're in an awakened state of presence that, wow, really, there is this whole new world, your best whole new world. And I believe that everybody has these desires inside their heart that allow them to call forth why they're here and what they want to participate in and what they want to experience in that state of joy and health and love and wealth. And that's just natural. And yes, it's like people used to think, oh, I needed a job to make money. And now we're realizing, oh, we can be on the internet and connected, and there's a global economy, and everybody can tap in to part of that huge abundance in money. Well, for me, the next step is that consciousness shift in health. So many people still feel that health is elusive. Health is something that is they have to attain, they have to get to. It's, again, too, naturally abundant. You just have to tap in and tune into it. So that gives you a broader perspective of that answer. Am I an energy healer? Do I call myself an energy healer? No. Now, so do I replace, the other question that Claire was asking is, do I replace these beliefs that I help people recognize with something else, with realizations or guidance? And for everyone, it's a different experience. So as they are aware all of a sudden of their belief. Sometimes it's hilarious. It's like they could be stuck for a long time. And in a course of a moment in time, it's just, there's this aha, there's an awakening, and they go, okay, yeah, completely gone. And yes, when I do the energy work, I am seeding into them whatever comes through me in that moment. So usually it is sort of, the best way to describe it is like a high vibrational thought process. So for instance, if somebody was giving away the idea that they were stuck, it may come to me to say, as we are holding that space of energy, that you have, you know, crystalline clarity. And it may not. It may come to me that what that idea that they were stuck had nothing at all to do with whether they were clear. They may already be clear. There may be something else. So I, like Bridget Murphy, like when we talk as a shamanic healer, she never presumes to know the answer, and neither do I. She goes, you know, out in that sense of to the spirit guides, and I, in the sense, do the same thing. I connect with all that is there and allow whatever that is to come through me. Or even like Beloved, when she brought in Archangel Ariel yesterday, you know, that's how it comes through for her. So each of us, it comes through differently. And it's that essence of where you're getting that information from. You know, we all have, from my belief, we all have angels, and there's all spiritual beings around us, but they may just be, or maybe not even, as aware as you are in that moment in time, because they are still having another experience. So it's really, my journey is to tap people into what the truth is within themselves, because only they know what is truly in their highest and best good through their connection. It's all an energetic force. And I would, yeah, that's all I want to encourage in that respect. So yes, when I tune in, if there's new words that come to me, those come through in the energy. So it's like a higher vibration that seems to also just diminish the lower limiting belief. So what changes in a person at the end of the session? It totally is like this big, huge scope. You know, sometimes it's within minutes, and they may feel like they're sick. It could be, you know, I've had calls like that where someone's just like, oh, I feel awful, I feel sick, I've been dealing with this for 24 hours. And within moments of them choosing to let go of it, that's the key thing, is one, that they let go of it, and two, then we calibrate the energy together. They're like, oh, I'm all better now, everything's great. And it's, sometimes it's reported that it just feels, when they're in that space, that something else is going on within them. Other times people just feel kind of nice. You know, it's just like, I feel kind of nice, and they don't really notice anything in that sense. It just feels nice. But if they actually go back and they look from that moment in time, then they start to see that doors were opening in the direction, right? That they start to get the right answers. They start to be guided to this person that helps them here, and they get guided here, and that their life just starts to flow easier. And so it has varying degrees. And as I said, sometimes they're just so hilariously funny that it is the sense of laughter that I believe is part of that huge release. It just is totally gone. Other times people have physical symptoms of release. Like I've had my own personal experience. I remember the first time I ever gave away judgment. I was feeling I had this intense judgment. This was, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago, about an organization, a spiritual organization. And I was feeling like, you know, they were just missing the boat. And I realized, wow, I'm the one that has the judgment, right? You know, one finger points at someone else, three are always pointing back here. And as much as I've said that to my kids growing up, you know, when you're dealing with yourself, it is sometimes takes a little bit longer. So I realized, that's me that's doing the judgment, right? I'm the one that's judging. I'm the one that's deciding that person isn't in the right place or they're not doing the right thing. And who am I? Again, because I'm just this little cell in the entire, not even little, like if you look at some of those pictures of the galaxy and they show the farthest away and how tiny our sun is, let alone the earth, and that we're on this earth, we're smaller than a smallest, tiniest little thing. Why would I think that I know anything about the universe? So when I gave that away and recalibrated myself, I had diarrhea and vomited for 24 hours. And after that, I never experienced judgment like that again. And so there can be many different effects with people. It just depends where they are. Again, I like to say that the universe has everything under control. I think it's even funny when we somehow think what we're doing or what I'm doing today is really helping somebody, because ultimately I just am playing this particular role in this great master production and everyone else is. And we can all keep playing the roles we want until we decide to change the new role. And the source and the unified field and the divine consciousness, it's all played out. It's all there. We're just these little peons. We're part of the great video game. And, I think that's why teenagers are so connected to video games, because they know that life isn't something entirely different, and it's about getting in and playing it and mastering the levels, and then it's like realizing that you also do that here, experience it here, and not just in technology like you and I are doing right now. Okay, so another question that Laurel had asked me was, okay, so do I clear? What do I do with these energies that I clear? And again, since I am sort of, by my belief system, is I'm plugged into, sort of the source of it all, I trust that the source knows how to get rid of the energies, right? So it's like, in a sense, I mean, you could say like it's like pouring dirt on a fire or water on a fire. There's something that extinguishes out those beliefs, and there is a new state of consciousness, a transformation that happens within a person. And then whatever the earth decides to do with those ashes, that is left up to the earth to do. So the universe, for some people, I might even use an example if I feel like they need to feel like those old beliefs are removed. I actually have them do a physical example of throwing them away so that they are complete, and they realize they are left their energetic field entirely. But ultimately, I trust completely 100% that the universe has got it all under wraps, and my job is simply just to shine a light into the inner guidance of a person so that they can recognize their inner truth and let go of all the false ideas and habits that they have been carrying around that are no longer serving them. So that takes care of that one. Now, Linda had asked a question that said, what's the best way for decisions on both sides? And I didn't really get that one. And I didn't know if that had to do with like decisions based on beliefs and receiving, and how do I balance that out? But I would love it if there was a greater explanation on that, and then I can answer that, because basically everything I do is related to trusting what comes through me, and that's how I run my life. The concept of being logical or using common sense or thinking or rationalizing were patterns and habits I had for many, many years, decades of my life. And I've come to learn that I trust this existence and the source that comes through me, and my free will chooses to always follow. So every choice I make, it's when I tune in and I get the answer, the feeling in my body, not necessarily the answer outside myself, because again, hearing has been my experience. Hearing and experiencing in my body can be entirely different things. So when my body is resonating in that space of joy, and just like the dowsers go, you know, dowsing rod, what was working, my body is my barometer, and everybody's body is their barometer. It's like the guy, you know, the whole idea of the gut instinct. When you're completely aligned with what feels right, or when you, the opposite is you get this feeling to get out of there. You know, we were given all these things. It's not like we have to think about it. It's all there and it's all present. We just have to remember that that's what life is, and then turn around and follow it. So this has been great clarity for me. So I really thank everybody. You know, oh, hold on. Did I miss Nicole's? Yes, Nicole's question was, do people come to me for a certain belief or because they're on a journey? And it varies, Nicole. Sometimes I've had people that have come, they just want a healing, right? Really, that's all they want. They seem to think that they want to go on this path, but really, ultimately, they just want to be relieved of their discomfort and their pain, and they are only at that moment in time. They want to keep persisting down the path that they're persisting with the beliefs that they have, and they only want relief of that one instant. What I do know is that it's like, I think I said before, it's somehow the energy that I work with is doing its own stuff. So that person is going to get course corrected down the road anyways, whether we ever have anything to do with each other ever again. And yet they eventually, right, if they let their old habits come back into place, are going to come back into discomfort, because it's like their energetic charge is going to wear themselves down. So that's one of the gifts of people that keep tapping in and tuning in, which I do daily, and those that have had, you know, bigger health issues. They tap and tune in daily with me, and then they're staying strong. So they're able to totally address in complete presence their habit, and they've learned how to do it themselves, and then they can extend this help and facilitation to others, as because they just are completely present to it. So, and yet others that are doing it all the time and are staying tapped in, tuned in, and trusting this process within themselves are totally on their journey to their highest and best good and full awakening, that's their ultimate desire in their heart, that they've come to me to say, you know what, and it's been a guided thing, that they just say, I just feel like I'm supposed to be here with you. And there's no logical explanation. Our paths just cross, and it's a total, they have this feeling, I have this feeling, and we go from there. And it becomes a magical experience, and just like a great friendship, because we realize that we're just these beautiful vibrations that are playing in perfect harmony, which is what all of us are doing, having these, each playing our note in the universe. And as we do that, we just have this, wow, awesome symphony of life. So again, this has been so helpful for me, not only from just answering questions, but just giving me clarity, because I've had that of how do it's usually the experience of somebody, and with this video, with the Lighted Up community, it's really got me to go on video and share more. And the more I've shared, and people recognize that, you know, I'm doing it without makeup on, and I'm doing it wherever, and the backdrops aren't perfect, and you know, I'm just going with the flow. They get a sense of who I really am, and the authenticity that's there, where just say the printed word doesn't necessarily bring that to forth, because it's only like 10% of communication. So I really, really, really thank you all for making the questions and the comments, and being here in this supportive, loving group, because it's been just awesome. So have yourselves all a very blessed day.